Hi everyone, this is Khushboo. Recently, UPSC results 2018 were declared and I got AIR 80 this year. So I belong to a very humble background and I come from a very small town named as Bhadaud in Punjab. In fact, it's such a small town that nobody in the past 30 to 40 years has been into IAS from that town. So, when you belong to such a small town and you see such a big dream to become an IAS officer, it feels at every moment that no, this isn't for you. This dream isn't for you. This is too big for you. I also used to tell myself that no, Khushboo, this dream is too big for you to do it. So I used to think that you can be in the mains phase, you can be in the interview phase, but never in that list, the final list. You will never be there. But then I took the process stepwise. That is what I suggest to the aspirants also. That please don't be distracted by the kind of processes it is. I always say that the syllabus isn't tough. The mostly books that we read are up to the 10+2 level and one of the optionals is our graduation, up to the graduation level. But the difficult thing is to pick yourself up daily, to say yourself in the morning that no, you have to read those books. You don't have to pick the phone, you don't have to talk to the relatives, no, but pick the books. So you have to do this regularly also. So I think this is what makes it difficult. Once you overcome this inertia of wasting time in other distractions, I think UPSC seems easier, and also take it in a stepwise manner. So I think this is what helped me also. So I think knowing my background is really important because I feel that before you follow my strategy or any of the advice that I have given, you need to know what kind of background I had. So I have done my schooling at a very local school in my small town. And after that, I entered IIT Delhi and did my BTech and MTech in computer science engineering over there. It might sound that, I had a very strong background and that's why I cleared this UPSC, but I didn't. See, the kind of knowledge that UPSC requires is very different. You need to have strong hold on subjects like polity, history. These were the subjects that I was never interested in. So I never studied these subjects. I was always a science student. I remember the day when I started my preparation, it was 18th May 2016. And the first book that I picked was 6th class polity. And I asked my cousin that, what is Constituent Assembly? Is this another name for Parliament? So you can imagine what was my situation 3 years back. So to come from there, to work really hard, to know every concept, to love every book which I hadn't read before. So it has been an amazing journey. But through this story, I want to tell you that no matter where you start, the important thing is to start. So wherever you are today, box 1, box 10, box 100, doesn't matter. Just start. So in my final year of graduation, I had 3 options for my career. One was doing PhD abroad. The another was working at MNC. The third one was coming into civil services. At that time, I was very confused and I also wanted to go abroad, just like my friends did. But then I talked to my father and he told me that it is your decision, it is your life completely. But just follow one advice of mine, that whatever you decide, have a proper reason that why you are doing it, and whatever you don't decide to do it, have a proper reason why you are not doing it. So I actually picked up the pen and the notebook and wrote it down, that why I want to do PhD and why I don't fit into that PhD, why I can go to MNC and why I shouldn't go to MNC, and why I should enter into civil services and what can be the obstacles in that. Once I wrote down, once I imagined myself into each of those situations, I think civil services was the one which featured out, and that is when I decided to go for it. Because it suited my personality traits. So I am the kind of person who likes being connected to the society, who likes to work for the society, who likes to see something that is put on the ground. So I'm not the kind of person who can sit in a cubicle or work over there. So I like things happening on the ground. So when I saw that civil service is the way that will offer me that, so I went for it. So if I have to reduce it in 2 words, I would say hard work and positivity. Hard work is necessary because this is a very different kind of a preparation. You have to constantly push yourself, push your edges, no matter if you think that I can't do this. For example, I used to tell myself that no, you can't remember facts, no, you can't remember examples, no, you can't remember the figures. And that is what I think why I couldn't clear in my first attempt. But then in my second attempt, I told to myself that there is no escape route. You have to remember there is a lot of competition in the examination, and if you want to compete with them, then you have to remember that there is no escape route. So the hard work that is needed, one, the positivity, because you need to constantly trust yourself. You need to constantly trust your hard work. And also if the positive vibes are there, you are motivated to do that kind of hard work. So I think these hard work and positivity were my mantra. It does. It surely does. Because see, it's not about the people around you. You surely change. Because during the preparation, I always had the idea that, Khushboo, this is a big dream for you. You can't achieve it. You might reach to interview stage. You might reach a main stage, but you never be in that PDF. So to tell myself now that no, you have been able to do it. So you just needed that self-confidence in yourself, that trust in yourself, that yes, you can do it. And once you show that to yourself, I think you will definitely clear it. Working for 16 to 18 hours is a myth. See, it's not a 3 months journey. It's not 4 months journey. It's a long process. It might take you 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, or 6 years. So for that, you need to prepare yourself. It has to be a constant process. You can't do that. You're studying for 17, 18 hours a day, then you are not studying for a week. So rather than that, I decided to go for 8 to 10 hours a day. But I did that regularly. So there wasn't any holiday, there wasn't any Sunday. So nothing like that happened. 8 to 10 hours I feel is sufficient. But if the exams are approaching, for example, prelims is near the corner, so then you can increase it to 12 to 14 hours. It depends upon your preparation. Otherwise, I feel that 8 to 10 hours is more than sufficient. For coaching institutions, so I'll start at the start of the journey first. So it depends. For example, if you think that you don't have the right guidance, then you can go for a coaching institution. But I also believe that nowadays a lot of online content is available. So if you know the right source at the right time, you don't even need to enter the coaching institutions. However, for the thing of test series, I really believe that one must go for it. So I am a big fan of the test series. I always believed, I even joined 2 to 3 test series during my mains preparation. And that is why I think my score has been up than last year. So for test series, definitely it's important. Now that I am more aware of the process, I think I'll give more preference to online content, because the reason being that it's available anywhere at any time. So you are not bound by it. Your time isn't wasted in the journey. So I remember I used to waste like 3 hours in the journey itself. So now that I can see whole process in a very wholesome manner, I think I'd prefer online content. But it should be authentic. It shouldn't be like you're randomly searching on the YouTube and finding the first link, looking down upon it. No, it should be authentic. It should be, you can consult the toppers. You can ask them that which source they followed. So yeah. So for example, while following geography, my only source was geography NCERTs. I didn't follow any book. But when you're reading NCERTs, you are suddenly stuck on a word. You don't know how this concept originated. For example, temperate cyclones. So you need to visualize how those fronts are made, how those fronts overlap each other. So for that, you need to consult the online sources. For that, I consulted, like for example, BYJU'S lectures are also really good in that context. So I followed some of their geography lectures, but now they're also providing polity, history lectures, which is really good. And I think it can really help the aspirants in visualizing things and remembering better. I think it's really a good program because it gives you a one-stop solution for every subject like polity, geography. As I already told you, that I followed some of their geography lectures. So when you know that a source is authentic, whatever information they are providing is correct, and many of the toppers are following it, so you know that, okay, this is the platform where I'll get answers to my doubts. So I think it's really good. I had 3 to 4 mentors in my journey, and I can't be enough thankful to them. And that is why I've started taking the initiative that people who need my help, who really need my help, So I'm always available for them because I've learned from my seniors that how important it is for someone to tell you that no, don't read this book rather, or don't go to this source, follow this source, or you don't need to read all the chapters, just read chapter number this and this. So this needs to be there because so the hard work is not sufficient. You also need a smart hard work. For that, you need a smart guidance by these people. For current affairs, before deciding on my sources, I contacted 3 to 4 seniors of mine. I asked them and I made a list. And for 3 years, that list remained the same except for the interview phase. So for current affairs, I followed the Hindu newspaper very religiously. Daily, I think in the start, 3 to 4 hours went into reading that, but then eventually it got reduced to 1.5 hours to 2 hours, depending upon the phase I am in. And then I followed one monthly booklet. You can follow any booklet which you think you can rely on, which provides authentic data, which is known. So you can follow that one. And during prelims or mains, you can also specifically focus on the facts, or during the mains, you can focus on topics. So this is what I did. No, it doesn't. So see, no, not one source guarantees success. I don't think anything guarantees success except you. So I know people who haven't read the newspaper yet clear the examination. So it depends upon you. For me, newspaper was one source because I haven't been in touch with the current affairs in my whole lifetime. So I needed to have one source. So it depends upon your strategy. Try and choose that strategy. As I already told you that I consulted with my seniors and then made the decision of following it in 3 days. So give time while choosing the resources. I think it always pays off at the end rather than choosing the wrong sources, going for it and then coming back to the box one again. In the start I think I also got to know that BYJU'S is having such a channel. So I think it's amazing, especially when you're not getting a proper hold on the newspaper. As I told, so I hadn't read a newspaper in my lifetime earlier. So now when I was reading one, I didn't know what to read, in which part of the syllabus does this news belong to. So to know this, you need to follow some channel in the start. So you can also follow it in your whole journey if you think you're comfortable with it. But I think it really helps, especially in the start. My book list has been very standard books. I didn't follow any extra book. For example, for polity, I followed Lakshmikant. For modern history, I followed Vipin Chandra plus Spectrum. But since Spectrum is modified these days, I think Spectrum itself is enough. For medieval history, I didn't follow any source. I didn't study medieval history at all. As I already told you, there was a strategic planning. So medieval history requires you around 10 to 15 days to prepare. But the questions that come are around just 1 or 2, that too only in the prelims. So that's why I chose not to do medieval history. For ancient history, it was R.S. Sharma. For art and culture, it was Nitin Singhania. For world history, again, I didn't do anything. I just knew that these are the events that happened. But I didn't know. So if a question would have come, I don't know. I'm not sure if I would have written anything. But luckily, in both my attempts, the first time the question that came, nobody knew about it, Malayan Peninsula. And second time, there was no question from the world history. So you have to strategize. As I told, my background was weaker in these subjects. So I chose to skip few subjects and focus on other ones. For economics, I followed you can follow any book which provides you concept definitions so that you can have a proper hold on economics. Because otherwise, the economics questions are very much related to current affairs. You don't need to memorize the theory for it. You just need to understand the theory so that you can be able to relate to the current affairs. Mains preparation in GS, what I did different in my second attempt was that I made notes with my own handwriting, with my own words. For example, there's a topic in GS1, say communalism. So what I would do is write a definition, write a little history about communalism in India, what is happening in the world regarding that, what is presently happening in that, what are the schemes that government has initiated to handle that issue, or something like that. So I built one A4 size sheet notes on the topic, on each of the topics that is mentioned in the GS syllabus. So whenever the question used to come, I used to categorize first that which part of the syllabus has it come from. Then I used to derive my material from the content that I have prepared. and that really helped me in gaining marks in GS. So I did a lot of hard work in essay, though everyone suggested me against it. So I devoted around 15 days after prelims completely to essay. What I did for that was, I joined 2 test series for that. For example, first test series, the first test came, there are like 7 to 8 topics in there. I wrote 2 essays, but for that 7 to 8 topics, there are broader topics. For example, if the essay is specific to woman, girl, child or something, but the broader topic is woman. So what I did was, I took out an A4 sheet, wrote the topic women, and wrote what can be the possible introductions that I know for this topic. And what are the possible conclusions? What are the possible quotes that I know related to this topic? And in the main body, what are the social, political, religious, that spec like we all follow. So what are the possible points in that topic? What are the ongoing reports on this topic? So one A4 sheet is more than sufficient for any such topic, and that really helped me because, for example, this time the topic was poverty. So I'd already prepared content on that topic. The second essay was definitely philosophical, but again the content was mainly derived from my notes, because when you're writing social, you know that, okay, this is my content over there. So you derive most of your content is already ready. I think this is what helped me in essay paper. See, in my first attempt, I couldn't prepare for ethics paper because it was my last year of graduation, and I think I suffered because of that, because I got very low score. But this time I made a pledge that no, I'll be giving 15 days to ethics after the prelims, and I ensured that it is given. So first thing I did was that every term of the syllabus of the ethics was written, and then I made my own notes. For making that notes, for example, the term integrity is mentioned. So for integrity, I would consult the websites like BYJU'S or any other website or Topper's notes for writing the definition, for reading out the definition and then writing it in my own words. Then I would write my personal example in that topic. Then I would write some real life example of other people in that topic, and then gradually build the content. So I did that for every topic that was there in the syllabus. I think that really helped me because ethics questions are very direct. So you get a direct question on transparency. What is transparency? How does it help in civil services? These are very direct questions. These can be easily prepared beforehand. So I think this is what helped me in ethics. I feel that personality test is the most important and exciting phase of the process. The reason being that it's not about showing your personality to the UPSC members, the chairman or anyone, but knowing who you are as a person. So I got a chance to explore myself, that who am I? How am I behaving in front of other people? How do I speak? When I saw the recorded, like for example, I went to BYJU for the mock interviews. They gave me the video and I saw that how do I behave when I don't know some answer, or when I am under a stress, I don't remember few things. For example, the board members were very cordial. So, but they asked me about Pakistan Prime Minister and I couldn't remember at that point of the time. But then they helped me that how can I reduce my anxiety, my nervousness at that point of the time. So that really helps. So my personality test preparation was mostly about knowing myself, talking to myself daily in the mirror with the family members. So I actually said them that during these 2 months, just ask me any question, anything about myself, my school, my college, anything that comes to your mind, just throw it at me, no matter at what situation I am, no matter in what mood I am, because I need to be constantly in the positive mood. So I also ensured that there is positive vibes around me during those 2 months. So this was how my preparation went along.